Okay, so we know that we know, we spoke about this before, and some of the key factors going into the game is our confidence, how confident we are, how motivated we are. We prime ourselves to go into a game. Now, you've seen obviously a lot of players have got their own way of getting in the zone or putting the game head on, and that's okay. But what I want to sort of touch on today is 4 things you can do when you sort of cherry pick what's right for you to work on. You can do all 4. This could be in the change room before you're about to go out. Obviously not while the coach or the manager is talking or anything like that. It could be even during a warm-up or both. It's just, a few minutes makes a huge difference. It can make a massive difference for me. Just a few minutes of doing exercise like this can make a huge difference, massive difference. So what we can do, first of all, it's important you're in the right state. So in the changing room, when you're in the changing room or during doing the physical warm-up, what you can do is think of a time that you were completely confident playing football. So you think of a time where you're really, really confident playing the game. You can't think of one now, you can come back to it later. But at some point, what I want you to do is sort of think of a time where you were completely confident during a game. Once you've done that, and you can think of a time you were confident, I want you to imagine living the experience like it's happening in the here and now. Or you can watch the experience like you're watching a TV. You're watching yourself on TV. What did you see? What did you hear? And what did you feel? Now, this exercise you can do again in your own time. It's okay. For now, we'll sort of work at your own pace and what you saw, heard, and felt, what you were saying to yourself. You see yourself. You can imagine living it in the here and now. And if you want to, you can set up a cue. When it gets to a peak state, you can do a physical action. And that's something we're going to cover in future seminars. And we've covered it before. We'll cover it again because we've got new players on board. So that's part of priming, sort of one thing you can do, even a couple of minutes. You're warming up. You think of a time you're extremely confident. Because we know we need confidence. Okay, so, and we can regulate our breathing. So you can breathe, slightly exhale long, and then inhale, maybe go 4, 6, 5, 7. Inhale through the nose, out through the nose. That'll calm the nervous system down. Then you can go into state. The other thing you can do too is, having done that, motivation. Okay, if you've got the motivation. Now, we watched that sort of mini Roy King best moments. One thing he wasn't short of is obviously motivation. That's for sure. So he was very highly motivated. And we can all, and this might be, you identify your why. Why am I doing, and your own why might change with time, and it might be personal to you. Doesn't matter. It could be financially, you want to support your family, your town. It could be you've got this strong desire to be a role model for young people. It could be, you mentioned last week, some of you guys about Messi and one of his coaches passing, and there was something I didn't know. And so if you've got like a few, and that's your motivation, that will make sure you go on it, because you need to be motivated in a game. Okay, and you might say, well, that goes without saying. Are you as motivated playing one team as much as the other? You play a big team, it speaks for itself. You play a team you expect it to beat. Maybe there's not many people watching, and you still got to have that motivation. That's the key. Being motivation. The other thing too, while you're doing that, is then you can start to rehearse mentally. We cover mental rehearsal. We'll cover it again in more detail. And you can start seeing yourself like on a screen, even with your eyes closed, just getting ready for the game, focusing on your role, stepping in there. And even during the warm-up, you can sort of take a minute or two just to get your positional sense. Okay, you take a time to visualize yourself on the field, what you're going to be doing, and then you can imagine, and you can even just do some of the movements. Just get ready, get primed, get focused for it, even for a couple of minutes. Even if you spend a couple of minutes on sort of getting into state, a time I was really confident. What did I see, hear, and feel? Then you start to build the fuel that burns your fire. This is my fuel that burns the fire. Then I'm going to just see myself doing, and the other thing, do self-talk as well. If you can sort of listen to what you're saying to yourself, okay, your communication. If you're saying, well, I'm never going to do it, I'm not going to make it, they're not going to choose me, I'm going to perform badly, stop yourself. Okay, we've covered this before, and we'll cover it again in more detail, where you can sort of stop yourself, forward stop with a wristband, or and then turn the negative statement, reframe it into a positive statement. So, okay, you might say to yourself, I'm feeling a bit nervous. And you go, well, I'm nervous because I care, but I'm going to channel those nerves. You might hear the voice of a coach 10 years ago saying you're hopeless, you'll never make it. And then you turn that around saying, well, I've got as far as I have, and I can keep going. Okay, and these are useful things. You reflect on how hard you've trained, the effort you put in. Okay, but you've got to channel that and focus that. So this is a priming exercise. And in future sessions, when you start playing again, or when sort of the restrictions are gone, you start playing again, I'm going to sort of go through this, 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks in a row to help prepare you. Okay, and you can take what you feel comfortable is right for you, what you need for you. But you can also transfer this. If you've got an exam for school, for college, for uni, a driving test, this is transferable skill, by the way. It's not just football. If you go into a situation where you feel more confident, okay, more motivated, more focused, it's going to give you a better chance at life in general. A lot of people throw a lot of information out there. There's so much information everywhere. Everyone's an expert on everything these days, and you've got to sort of question things. You can't just take everybody's. As a lecturer, I expect my learners to question me, where I get my information from, what I do. A lot of info I get is from the literature I read. I'm obviously have a background. I've studied neuropsychology and so on and so forth. And you probably hear some of the radio shows I do. I interview a lot of people who are in various fields. And that in itself, just conversations, a learning experience, and the experience of working obviously in sport and the game and other things are key things, and you've got to find what's right for you. So the priming is a really useful thing to do. It only takes a few minutes before a game to do that, and I'm not saying you do that and you're going to win every game. I'm saying if you go into a game, if you game ahead on the right state and you're focused, you've got a good chance to perform to the best of your ability. Okay, that's all anyone can ask for you to perform. It's like I mentioned about the Baker game on the weekend. We could not have asked any more from the lads to sort of go out there. Couldn't ask, they're disappointed we got beat. We don't like getting beat. We're winners, but you cannot ask for more. They gave it everything. Okay, you can't legislate for certain things that happen in the game that are beyond your control. That's just the way it is. Sport. You won't always get what you deserve in this game. It's a bit like life. It's not always fair, guys. But we've got to keep going. We've got to be positive, which is sort of the important thing to do.